Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Rachel Williams begins now.
Good evening, everyone. Residents in the Central Highlands came face to face today with a company proposing to build a wind farm in the area. Energy company Epuron held a community forum at Steps in a bid to get locals on side with the plan.
This part of central Tasmania could soon help power the state. Epuron's proposed wind farm near Bothwell would see 67 wind turbines constructed, producing up to 300 megawatts of electricity.
It's an electricity highway, if you like, which makes it a perfect place to connect a generator, which is what a wind farm is.
The company held a community meeting this morning at Steps. Ms Bolton says employees were keen to meet locals, receive feedback and provide further information.
If these tall structures go into this landscape, how can we benefit this community and make it an acceptable, palatable thing?
Opinion is divided. Property owners at Shannon are concerned by tower height and its impact on birds.
This is the gateway to the Central Highlands. And there's going to be towers up to 240 metres high. That's 3 times the height of the Rest Point Casino.
Some believe it'll affect the scenery at Penstock Lagoon.
In this case, it could be just moved that little bit further away and into a place where people aren't living.
Others, however, are in favour of it.
I think it'd be an asset to the district. I think if we're going to survive, we need to develop things.
If all goes to plan, construction is expected to begin in the second half of 2022. Ms Bolton says while they acknowledge there are some community concerns, they hope to show locals they can be a good neighbour.
So it's our job really to see how we can make it an acceptable thing in the landscape.
Community consultation, which is occurring today, that's terrific, but also vitally, all environmental tests will need to be met.
John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
A Launceston man has been caught up in the federal government robo-debt scheme. He woke up to find he now owes Centrelink nearly $12,000 of reportedly unknown debt.
Brodie Lucas made the shocking discovery 6 months ago. He owed Centrelink around $4,000, and since then it's skyrocketed.
I woke up to find that I have another $8,000 debt with Centrelink. So all up it's $11,900.
Centrelink set up the automated robo-debt system in 2016 to match tax records with welfare payments. But the 27-year-old says things aren't adding up.
I'm pretty shocked and scared and angry. They're saying that it doesn't add up with what the information I gave them, but the information they gave me doesn't add up with their own information.
Brodie received Centrelink payments while he was studying full-time as a nurse.
And considering, like, in these times that I was getting paid this Centrelink that they're saying that I now owe them back, I was like doing prac for university, working like 40 hours a week, getting minimum wage, and now I'm having to pay that back plus more, apparently.
There are thousands of Australians in similar situations as Brodie, now taking to online groups on Facebook to seek advice.
It's kind of terrifying, and there's people that I've seen online that have debts way higher than mine, and in situations way worse than me, like people on disability pensions and stuff, which is horrible.
Brodie has asked for another review into his debt. The Department of Human Services was contacted for comment. Ruby Kamain, 7 Tasmania News.
Seafood lovers travelled from far and wide to the state's northeast today to enjoy a taste of what Tasmania does best. Fresh scallops, oysters and calamari were on the menu at Bridport's Scallop Fiesta as the seafood industry prepares for a bumper season.
A sizzling sensation, and it's only just heating up. As thousands today drift to the coast to sink their teeth into a favourite delicacy.
I'm eating the curried scallops and from over here, and they're absolutely beautiful.
What are you eating here today? A scallop pie, and it's delicious.
The Village Green serving up a seafood feast with some larger-than-life cooking experts for the 2nd annual Tassie Scallop Fiesta.
Bridport we like to think of as being the spiritual home of the scallop. Certainly still a big proportion of the catch is split just down the street here in Bridport, and so we like to cling to that bit of fame.
And scallops have been my passion since I was this high, so yes, I love scallops.
The standout dishes, all thanks to the start of a knockout catching season.
They're a big part of the fishing industry in Tasmania. They've sort of varied over the years. They've come up and down, so it's not something that is there every year. But at the moment, we're having a great patch where there's going to be scallops into the future.
The onset of winter has been a few weeks ago now. The days are getting longer. The cold might be growing stronger, but we're coming out the other end, and we know that we'll have scallops to celebrate with, and right through until Christmas.
Ruby Kamane, 7 Tasmania News.
Hobart's latest crop of motorcyclists are gearing up to hit the roads, having obtained their licences through Glenorchy City Council's new Full Gear program, designed to reduce risk-taking behaviour among young riders.
Definitely safer riders, because it also helps get a lot of people off the roads who people think are hooning and all that. So it teaches them how to ride properly.
Next month, riders will wear vests with Full Gear Rider written on the back as part of a week-long campaign to create more awareness of motorcyclists among motor vehicle drivers. Willow Court's historic and tragic history was on display at an open day this afternoon. Visitors could view living conditions and what life was like for inmates. Opened as an army barracks in the 1830s, the site ran as an institution from 1837 until its closure in 2000. The Preservation Society says it's an important reminder of how far treatment for mental illness has come.
The feeling towards mental health as a stigma is slowly receding. We cannot ignore what the past has done.
Tours take place on the first Sunday of every month.
The soccer now, and the Hobart Zebras got the better of Olympia in a high-scoring affair at Warrior Park a short time ago. With scores level at 1-1, the Zebras then found another gear, slotting 2 more through the back of the net before half-time to give themselves a handy buffer. The Warriors clawing 1 back on the scoreboard to keep things interesting, but Hobart refused to squander the lead, converting again before the full-time whistle to secure the 4-2 win. The state's best young motocross riders have pushed themselves and their bikes to the limits in Scottsdale today for the 5th round of the Tasmanian Championships. And with only 1 round remaining, the battle for points is heating up. It's the business end of the coveted series, and riders weren't leaving anything to chance.
The riders are from all around Tasmania, all the way from Smithton down to Hobart.
Scottsdale Santarina Park throwing up its fair share of thrills and spills, but that didn't stop these young guns from going full throttle, with every championship point crucial from here on out.
At the moment it's quite wet, so the challenge is to try and stay on your bike and finish the race.
17-year-old Devonport product Lockie Smith continuing his charge towards the state title in his first crack at the senior category, with the championship leader keen to go on and make a name for himself on the national stage.
I'm pretty confident. There's a tough field, but I believe that all my training's gone to plan, so I'm hoping to get the job done. All the support of my mum and dad and all my sponsors. It's been to a fair bit of training with a few of the older boys, so yeah, it's helped out a heaps.
We need to compete at the highest level so that riders can then better themselves by going to the mainland and racing.
The final round will be held in Penguin next month, where the overall series champions will be crowned. Tasmanian F1 hopeful Alex Peroni will start tonight's Formula 3 race in Hungary in 23rd position, despite finishing up in 13th place in race 1 overnight. The Team Campos driver was slapped with a 30-second time penalty for this incident.
So this is Peroni off the road after contact with Beckman at turn number 1. This was to the apex of turn 1. Beckman on the left, Peroni on the right, and wheel banging.
Peroni is currently 18th in the overall standings.
Good evening. A high of 11 across Hobart and Burnie today, Launceston 12 and a top of 10 at Devonport. Other centres today, Smithton, Lowhead and Strawn all reached a high of 11, 12 across St Helens and Friendly Beaches and 10 at Ouse. On the close-up shows low-level cloud over Tasmania's west and south with occasional high cloud floating over the top. Further out, overcast conditions over Victoria with a mixture of low cloud and higher cloud associated with a front. Tomorrow, the ridge over Tasmania is moving east, allowing several troughs and fronts to begin to approach the state from the west. Northwesterly winds tomorrow 10 to 20 knots, swells up to 4 metres in the west and south and below 1 metre in the north. A strong wind warning is current for southern and western coastal waters from the southeast Cape to Sandy Cape, and a road weather alert is also current for the potential for icy roads in parts of the Central North, Central Plateau, Midlands, East Coast and Upper Derwent Valley forecast districts. Tomorrow's forecast now high of 14 across Dover and Ouse, partly cloudy at Hobart. Launceston and Devonport a top of 12, showers at Scottsdale. Strawn and Stanley tomorrow showers with a high of 13, 12 at Burnie. Partly cloudy at St Helens and Swansea, Ross a top of 11. Looking to the 3-day forecast now, Tuesday showers statewide with a possible thunderstorm about the west, north and south coasts. Wednesday morning showers about the west and far south, and finally Thursday showers extending statewide, early contracting to the west, far south and Bass Strait Islands late in the day. Capital cities looking mostly sunny across Sydney and Brisbane, 16 in Melbourne and a top of 14 in Canberra. And on to current temperatures, Hobart 8, partly cloudy, Launceston 6, looking partly cloudy, and Devonport 7, mostly cloudy. That's all in weather tonight. Back to you, Rach.
Thanks for that, Jackie. That's all your news for now. Thanks for joining us. Have a great week. Good night.